In an era where public figures are increasingly being reframed not just by words but by mimicry, parody, and media simulation, the lines between persona and performance are becoming harder to draw. This past week, a particularly telling example emerged in the form of Spitting Image, The Rest is Bowls, a satirical reboot that placed Prince Harry front and center as a puppet caricature of himself. At just 11 minutes, the teaser feels deceptively light. But under its comedic shell lies a meticulously constructed narrative structure. One that does not merely poke fun at a prince gone rogue, but attempts to test the elasticity of public perception around him. Is Harry still in control of his image, or is that control now outsourced to media formats that can laugh on his behalf, while stripping him of authority? The puppet version of Harry isn't just a joke. It's a mirror, bent, distorted, but recognizably him. In the short clip, Puppet Harry delivers a series of sharply written lines that seem designed to reinforce long-standing media tropes. I podcast because I have no discernible talent. Perkins, my butler, does a 10K run for me every morning. If William has another kid, I drop one more notch in the line of succession. He chats casually with Elon Musk, admits to recreational drug use, and complains about his place in the royal hierarchy with ironic detachment. The segment ends with a failed attempt to call King Charles, answered only by silence. That silence becomes the loudest moment in the piece. But make no mistake, this isn't about humor. It's about narrative licensing, allowing media to speak when the individual remains silent. The longer Harry stays quiet, the louder the puppet speaks. And as time goes on, the public begins to remember the puppet more clearly than the man. In the week leading up to the video's release, both Harry and Meghan had conspicuously retreated from public view. No statements, no media appearances, not even social media breadcrumbs. For two individuals known for timing their appearances with almost surgical precision, this dual silence is not coincidence. It is calculation. Silence, in this context, isn't absence. It's narrative space. And nature abhors a vacuum. Enter Spitting Image. To the untrained eye, the puppetry feels like satire. To those versed in the Meghanverse framework, it's a classic example of proxy communication, where third-party media delivers messages, gauges reactions, and reshapes expectations before the subjects themselves return to the spotlight. And what does the proxy reveal? That Harry is perceived as a privileged yet aimless figure, reliant on optics and detached from both royal and American realities. That Meghan, despite being unseen, is implicitly the architect of this withdrawal. That their children, mentioned via puppet, serve only as footnotes to a lifestyle increasingly described as performative. It's easy to dismiss Spitting Image as parody. But history suggests otherwise. In political and royal narratives alike, satire often precedes transformation. Before a public figure is officially rebranded, they are often softened by humor, making the next phase of their narrative more palatable. The British press has long used comedy to shape reputations. What begins in jest often calcifies into common understanding. The Lazy Prince. The Netflix sellout. The out-of-touch Californian royal. These aren't jokes, they're seeding mechanisms. And if the public laughs, they accept. If they repeat the jokes, they internalize. By the time Harry speaks again, if he does, the framework around his identity will already be built. Within Meghanverse theory, this entire scenario fits a known archetypal pattern. The puppet prince, a figure stripped of original voice, replaced by proxies. The absent architect, Meghan's deliberate absence enhances her mythos as the strategist. The media middlemen, third-party voices that condition public reaction, acting as narrative filters. This strategy has precedent. When Meghan and Harry stepped back from royal duties, the silence that followed allowed tabloids, commentators, and even satirists to redefine their motives. When Finding Freedom was released, both remained strategically vague, allowing the book's interpretation to carry the weight of their image. Now, with the Spitting Image teaser, we may be witnessing a new version of this cycle: humor, silence, then repositioning. Perhaps the most overlooked component in all of this is the audience. Every time we share, laugh, or debate about Puppet Harry, we are reinforcing the frame in which the real Harry will later reappear. The version of Harry that emerges post-Puppet will not be the same one who vanished. He will be a man reintroduced through contrast, either to reclaim agency or to lean into the satire. Either way, the puppet acts as a buffer, softening or redirecting public perception. This is a subtle, high-level form of media testing. And it works because we, the public, believe we are laughing at the subject. In reality, we are being invited to laugh with the narrative constructors. When caricatures replace personalities, and curated narratives masquerade as comedy, control quietly changes hands. Meghan and Harry may be absent, but their story is still being written by puppeteers, producers, and every viewer who consumes without questioning. Is Harry merely being mocked? Or is he being edited? And if Meghan is the strategist many believe her to be, then this silence is not retreat. It's recalibration. The 11-minute video was not the joke. It was the probe. The real punchline? That we helped write it.